Spania nu este doar cea mai căutată destinație pentru turismul european, dar este pentru 6 luni și țara care deține președinția Uniunii Europene. România are un aliat pentru aderarea la zona Schengen. Până acolo însă, președinția spaniolă are de rezolvat unul dintre cele mai complicate dosare europene, cel al migrației și azilului. Totul vine în contextul unei creșteri fără precedent a extremismului pe întreg continentul nostru. De regulă, când nu ai idei, găsești un vinovat universal și atragi de partea ta pe toți cei care sunt nemulțumiți din diferite motive. Rețeta este simplă. Întrebarea care rămâne este și cum ar arăta o Europă în care democrația dispare. José Antonio Pérez-Solórzano este ambasadorul Spaniei la București și discutăm împreună despre toate aceste situații. Sunt Cristina Cileacu, începe Pașaport diplomatic. José Antonio Pérez-Solórzano, Ambassador of Spain in Bucharest, welcome to Diplomatic Passport.
Thank you very much, Cristina, for inviting me to be with you and your audience.
Well, Ambassador, Spain took the European presidency, and there is a time when the world order seems to change. We all have to adapt quickly to this situation, and Spain has a strategic vision for Europe. What is it?
We have just started our presidency on Saturday. We started, or the president of the government started with a very strong sign. The very first visit was to Ukraine. So we know that the global order is changing because, among other things, because of this illegal war of aggression of Russia, of Putin against Ukraine. So it's in this context, when the new international order is being constructed, that we are taking on the presidency of the European Union. It is our 5th presidency since we joined the European project in 1986. And it's a special presidency because we are getting to the end of the mandate of the Parliament and the Commission. So we have many legislative dossiers that are affecting our day-to-day lives that should be ended, or at least we're close to an end. It's in that sense that we have been working for almost the last 2 years with all the before presidencies in order to have a presidency that delivers to the citizens. Our priorities are clearly marked by this idea. When we speak about reindustrialization or open strategic autonomy, we are speaking as well about competitiveness of Europe. We have been living hard times because, well, the industries in Europe, many industries in Europe, were delocalized.
Yeah, we're abroad, outside Europe.
Outside Europe. You know, the difficulties are now in the food and the primary sector. Citizens are paying higher prices because of these problems as well. So when we speak about reindustrialized Europe, we are thinking about some autonomy in the supply chains, and at the same time considering the environmental challenges. When we speak reindustrialized, we are speaking about, well, the number 1 industries in the future. We are speaking robotics, we are speaking biofertilizers, we are speaking the components of the car being made in Europe. This is the kind of reindustrialization we are speaking of. What shall we do? Well, if we have learned from the past, we have to diversify our chain of supplies, and we have to go to more reliable partners. Some of them are in Latin America and in the Caribbean region, where primary raw materials are produced, and where we are, we think, aligned in values and fundamental values and political conception, with the exception of 2 or 3 countries in Latin America. All of them are consolidated democracies. So Europe has been, in the past, open to the world, and it has been very good for our competitiveness, but now it is time as well for us to do it in an intelligent and prudent manner. As I said, the second priority will be environmental challenge. We are seeing that, well, every day our life is affected. This tendency must be something not only moral, but compulsory for all of us. But at the same time, we think it is an opportunity for Europe. I mean, moving to renewable energies is going to reduce our dependency on fuels, and by this way, maybe we can reduce as well the bill of electricity for our consumers, for our companies, being more competitive. The green economy is going to create jobs. We have thought about 1 million jobs in one decade. So going for green is not only an option or an obligation, it's as well an opportunity.
You mentioned first the reindustrialization of Europe. Of course, Europe has to bring home its production, and among the European states, it's a sort of competition who is getting what investment in their state. What are Spanish plans in this regard?
Well, what we would like to have is a competition to the lower wages. So we are thinking about new working abilities or job abilities that will put Europe in #1 sector. So in Spain, for example, we are speaking about microprocessors. We are speaking about big data centers. We are speaking as well about autonomous driving, and we are speaking about cleaner energies. That is the sense in which we are speaking about reindustrialization. But at the same time, when we speak about food, well, our way of producing food must be the bio way, the respectful of the environmental, and at the same time trying to attract population to these areas of the countries in Europe that are being abandoned by young people because of the lack of opportunities. So coming again and again to the same topic is, the idea is how we make our countries profitable for all Europe, within this competition that it is good, but at the same time being clear that our ideas shall be always sustainable development, environmental respectfully development, and only in that way I think Europe can make its place, because we are already the leaderships in that sense. For example, with the war in Ukraine, Europe has accelerated the carbonization process. We know now that our imports from Russia in fuels are 90% below of what they were just 1 year ago. So we have to keep on that track in the idea that we are able to do it. It's for the benefit of us, but at the same time it's giving us a leadership role in one of the main topics of the international agenda, the climate change.
Well, you also mentioned the Latin America and Caribbean. Your Prime Minister, Pedro Sánchez, mentioned to the European leaders that Spain sees in these countries a major ally for Europe. Of course, if we look at it from the Spanish perspective, we can say that it's a matter of common nature. What Latin America and the Caribbean can bring to the table in a relationship with the European Union?
When we entered the European Union in 1986, we already said to our partners at the time that we brought Latin America to the European Union, and we said at the beginning we are a bridge. Now we are not anymore the door to enter Europe. All the Latin American countries have enough relations with Europe to know which door they must knock in order to defend or to promote their bilateral relations. But what is about Latin America? We have been in meetings with them until 2015. Since 2015 we have forgotten Latin America.
And China, remember Latin America? And
China is entering Latin America, but at the same time some fakes are spreading about the relations between Europe and Latin America. It's not true that China is investing more than Europe in Latin America. We continue to be the first investor in Latin America before the United States. Along with the United States, we are the main investors. I mean, there is a concentration of Chinese companies in Latin America, which are, as well as we must be in the future, looking for raw materials. They are promoting mining, for example. That is not the kind of investment Europe is doing. Europe is more investing in service sector, health sector, and there is where we are really strong. But above this capacity of being investors and having as well a say in Latin America, what we are now worrying is because they don't see the war in Ukraine like we do. That is our main concern. And one of the ideas we shall promote in Europe is that we cannot think only in Europe, plan, develop ideas, and then ask Ibero-America or Latin America to follow. When we are speaking about a strategic dialogue, the idea is, from the very beginning, in the design of our policies, our positions in the fora, the national fora, count on Latin America, share with them, take their perspective as well. So when you are in your final moment of making a political decision, all these views are together in that vision. Because we share with them, as I said at the very beginning, fundamental values. They are all democracies. I hope that we will really give a big impulse to this, and we will find an echo in the other side of the Atlantic as well. But as I said, we have to think together.
Absolutely.
And not only waiting for them to follow us.
Romania also has its expectations when it comes to the Spanish presidency of the European Union, and of course the biggest expectation is the one related to Schengen. Of course the countries that are blocking the entering of Romania and Bulgaria to Schengen area are Austria and the Netherlands. What can Spain do in this case?
Well, all the presidencies are playing what we call an honest broker. So it is not our position we are now promoting, but we try to build consensus among states. Which is our position? Well, Schengen is really an achievement of the European construction. Maybe with the euro is the most clear and practical thing the European citizens feel. Schengen is not working properly. Schengen has today internal borders, controls that should not be there. They were foreseen for a critical period during the pandemic, but this crisis has been overcome, vaccination has been a success. This internal control must disappear. They can be, as I said, and we have seen it in the past, a summit of the NATO in Germany, and they close their borders, or in France or in Spain, in order to have a better control of people coming or going in special circumstances where security is the prevalent question to solve. But now we are not in that situation. So the first thing we are going to say in the Council is, please, internal border controls must disappear between all the countries appertaining to Schengen. Secondly, we think we will be better and more secure with Romania and Bulgaria inside. It is clear that Romania and Bulgaria are already external borders of the European Union, and they are working like that. In the practical terms, all these projects, pilot projects, initiatives taken with the Commission with one of the member states are to prove that we are capable in Romania of doing our management of borders in a serious manner. But they have already proved. I mean, we have a conflict in the neighboring country. Criminality has not increased. Arms traffic has not increased. That means that Romania is doing, and the police border is doing, a perfect job. Maybe they can be more efficient, they can ameliorate, all of us can do it in everyday life, but it is not the point. So what we think is that topic must come back to the Council. That is compulsory. We cannot go another 6 months like being with the elephant in the room and not speaking about. As I said, we will play fully our role of honest broker with the countries that are reluctant in order to see what their interests are and to find the ways in which the interest of Romania is fulfilled and the interests of these countries are preserved. And I think we will be successful. I am very confident.
Well, fingers crossed to all of us then. But a big step towards this is the Pact for Migration and Asylum that must be signed by all European states, and this is a situation that Europe is not solving for a very, very long time. Is the Spanish presidency now in charge of trying to find a final agreement among the member states? You also are a country of destination for illegal migration, especially from North Africa. What are the Spanish solution for this pact to be signed as well?
Well, we are not working isolated. You know, this is a round of presidencies going.
Of course, it was the Sweden before. And
the Sweden has done a very good job in this dossier. You know, this pact, we call pact, is indeed 5 legislative dispositions. 4 of them have been adopted. The last one we have seen this Sunday was not without difficulties. Well, the Council found a way to give a go to the initiative of the pact, considering as well the sensitiveness or the sensibilities, let's say, of Hungary and Poland, and we will see which are the future developments, and we will face the same difficulties concerning the last regulamen. The last regulamen is really very important because we are speaking about crisis management for Schengen. We have to get to an end. Europe must work not only in illegal immigration but in regular immigration. We need workers. We are an old continent. We have elderly people. Our welfare state depends on people coming from abroad to help us in many areas, and not only with the elderly people or in the primary sector, in order to overcome the situation of lack of workers. So we shall work in legal migration and in the idea of a foreign migration policy. We have to work closer with the countries of origin and the countries of transit. It's not the idea only of keeping them away, but giving them the possibility to decide to stay in their countries.
It's an electoral year as well in Spain, and the extreme right, the far right, is using migration as and the fear of the people to underline that is a danger, not an advantage, as you underlined it.
Right-wing parties or the populist phenomena we live through Europe has now taken on migration as a topic. But populism, which is very difficult to define, really is always looking for the points in which the societies are divided to push on them. When you take it to the south of Europe, all the problems are coming not only by these decisions taken in Brussels, but by the austerity period we went through. So it reduced
and we keep on forgetting that Brussels is also each of our countries.
Exactly.
Not only Brussels, that's only a place where we meet.
We sit every day in Brussels. We decide by ourselves as member states, but when blaming someone, it is this generic Brussels, and it is not Brussels. How can we deal it? We did well. I think in Spain something we did very well from the very beginning. We are not really an historical country receiving immigrants. We were on the opposite, sending migrants abroad during long years until the democracy came back to Spain. So when we started receiving migrants, the first idea was not to create ghettos. And that thing that was very important for all the municipalities when they took seriously this topic. So migrants are integrated in all the areas of the city.
Ambassador, under the Spanish presidency of European Union, of course, your mission is in Bucharest in Romania, so I have to ask, what are your priorities here in our country?
Cristina, I was very lucky when I started my mission.
You are well integrated, right?
It's not only integration, but really well integration, because as you know, well, we signed a strategic partnership in 2013. And what was my lucky moment? That the first meeting, G2G, government to government, the high-level meeting was in November. So I arrived on the 29th of September, and already 1 month later I have this big meeting. What I have there? Well, I have a clear flair of how was politics now in Romania, which were the interests of Spain in Romania, and how to work together in the European or the NATO alliance, the European Union or the NATO alliance. And it was very clear. They were speaking very frankly. I see clearly, well, that we are very close. When we are speaking about the priorities of the presidency, some of them touching the citizens, Romania and Spain are perfectly aligned. I think we are aligned perfectly with Romania in many dossiers. And in the case of NATO, well, we all know that what is the menace at this time, what is going to be for the years to come, and we are really good associated. So what is going to be my mission? My priorities is to have the second meeting. We cannot go another 9 years without having these high-level meetings. We have to search for another areas of cooperation. In that meeting we were speaking about labor, about defense, about social security, about economy. We were speaking as well about welfare state, agriculture, but now we have to expand. Where can we expand? In many fields. We have been, and we are still, with some presence of military forces in Romania. During the first 6 months we have had 2 brigades of aerial policy in the Black Sea. coming to Romania, and now we have a long-distance radar in Esquitu, trying to secure the Black Sea as a way of communication, strategical point for all Europe, not only for Romania. It's north-south communication link, east to west. All of us are in the same boat. And we speak with Romania, we have frequent talks about the southern flank. So there we have, again, a close ally in Romania. My idea as well is to make of the Spanish language a real language for the Romanian people. Now we have a very reduced presence in the educative system, in the educational system in Romania, which is not responding to the reality in which we see that the people or the employers looking for people to work with them, the requirement in languages is first English and second Spanish, third is German, and fourth is French.
Yeah.
And it is not that what our educational system is reflecting at this time in Romania. So we will try to promote a better cooperation in order, well, as well, to facilitate the relation between Romanians here and Romanians in Spain, which are perfectly bilingual. I think a better development of the teaching of the Spanish language shall be in the agenda. I will try to do it.
Ambassador, best of luck with your mission, and thank you so much for this interview. Or shall I say gracias?
Whatever it happens concerning the presidency, our priority and our priority will be the same. So count on us. Help us. We count on your support as well. You are a really European country. We live every day the European spirit in your citizenship in Romania. So this is what we need, to help the pro-European Spanish citizenship and government in order to get their goals.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to you.
Atât pentru astăzi, dar rămânem în continuare online pe pagina de Facebook a emisiunii și pe contul nostru de Twitter. Revenim cu subiecte noi din lumea diplomației și a politicii externe, vinerea viitoare de la 11:30 și reluare sâmbătă după miezul nopții. La revedere!